For years, people online have been going wild with claims that Offset and Cardi B had something to do with Takeoff's tragic passing. And now, those whispers are heating up again. Word is spreading fast that Quavo might finally be speaking his truth, and he's allegedly dropping some jaw-dropping claims about Offset and Cardi's possible connection to that heartbreaking night that took Takeoff's life. Let's take it back for a second. It all went down on November 1st, 2022, just after midnight in Houston, Texas. What was meant to be a chill night turned into one of the most heartbreaking moments in hip-hop history. Takeoff, whose real name was Kirsnick Kari Ball, was hanging out with Quavo at a private event inside a bowling alley called 810 Billiards and Bowling. People there say Takeoff was minding his own business, staying calm like he always did, peaceful, laid back, not looking for any drama. But as the night went on, tension started building near the entrance of 810. Witnesses say an argument broke out, supposedly over a dice game between Quavo and a few other men. Within minutes, things reportedly spiraled out of control, and what began as harmless fun suddenly took a dark, chaotic turn that no one saw coming. Voices started rising, tempers flared, and the tension in the air was so thick you could almost feel it. Then, out of nowhere, shots were fired and Takeoff was tragically hit. The entire scene flipped from loud arguments to stunned silence in seconds. Ever since that night, fans online have been pointing out something strange. Both Offset and Cardi B's careers seemed to skyrocket not long after the tragedy, and that's when people began whispering dark theories, claiming Takeoff might have been sacrificed for success. But it didn't stop there. After Takeoff's passing, things between Quavo and Offset reportedly fell apart fast. The two cousins, who once made hits together, suddenly weren't even speaking. Rumors started swirling that Offset was eager to break off and launch a solo career, but there was a big problem: his contract. Word from insiders says the Migos deal with Quality Control, QC, locked them in tight. Apparently, QC owned the rights to anything they dropped, whether it was as a group or solo. So, if Offset wanted to move differently, he couldn't just walk away without a major legal fight. On top of everything else, reports say that half, yes, 50% of their net advances were going straight to Quality Control. That's a massive cut. When Offset finally understood just how deep he was tied up in that contract, insiders say he started scrambling for a way out. He supposedly tried to buy himself free, paying millions to get out from under QC's thumb. But even that didn't go as planned. Every move he made seemed to tighten the grip they had on him. Then, according to whispers in the industry, when the money and lawyers couldn't solve the problem, Offset allegedly turned to something darker, something extreme. The rumor mill went wild with talk that he might have taken part in a dangerous plan that put Takeoff's life at risk. The streets started buzzing that Offset and Cardi B were somehow part of a sacrifice to push their careers to the next level. It sounds insane, but the theory exploded online, with people breaking down every detail, every post, every move they made afterward. Even though none of this has ever been proven, the timing of everything had fans talking nonstop. Offset's own comments during that period didn't exactly calm the storm either. His cryptic tweets, sudden interviews, and emotional performances left people wondering what was really going on behind the scenes. Whether it was guilt, coincidence, or pure speculation, nobody knew for sure. But one thing was clear: the whispers weren't dying down anytime soon. Not long after all the tension started bubbling, Offset jumped on his public profile and posted something that had everyone talking. He wrote, "I feel like every group member has to establish themselves, their own body of work. If not, you start losing members." That one statement sent the internet into a frenzy. Fans couldn't stop asking, what exactly did he mean by losing members? Was Offset just talking about losing focus, losing creative energy, or losing your spark in the game? Or was there something way deeper behind those words? Some people started wondering if he was hinting at something darker, like losing members in the most literal sense, as in life and death. The timing of the post, so close to Takeoff's passing, made the message sound even more mysterious. Insiders started talking, and reports claimed that Cardi B was fully behind Offset's push to go solo. They say she was not just supportive, she was strategic. Allegedly, she helped him plan his next moves, fueling his hunger to break free from the group and the label. Word on the street is that Cardi might have even played a key role in helping Offset find a way out that would benefit them both, career-wise and financially. Whether that meant new contracts, private deals, or something else entirely, nobody really knows. But what's clear is that after that post, the energy around Offset completely shifted. He started acting like a man on a mission, focused, determined, and ready to take control of his own destiny. The whole situation left fans wondering, was that message just about independence, or was there a hidden meaning behind those chilling words? Now, Let's make one thing clear. No one's saying Cardi B or Offset literally put a hit out on Takeoff. That's not what the rumors claim. Instead, the word that keeps popping up is sacrifice. And that word alone has sent shockwaves through social media. It's the same word that's been floating around Hollywood for decades. Whenever something tragic or mysterious happens right before someone's career suddenly skyrockets, people start whispering about sacrifices and secret powers at play. For years, fans have speculated about a hidden system in the entertainment world, a power so massive and untouchable that many believe it controls fame itself. Some say celebrities seek it out, trading loyalty or even lives to secure fame, fortune, and endless success. It sounds wild, but this idea keeps resurfacing every time tragedy meets triumph in the spotlight. According to those online theories, Offset's situation fit that same pattern. Word on the street is that when Offset couldn't break free from his label drama, something shifted after Takeoff's passing. And not long after, Offset's solo career began to blow up fast. His name was suddenly everywhere, on major features, red carpets, magazine covers, and fans couldn't help but notice the timing. Sources claim this mysterious exchange was seen as the moment Offset finally got his global recognition, his rise to solo fame that had always seemed just out of reach before. Whether it was pure coincidence or something darker, the narrative spread like wildfire online. The talk of sacrifice wasn't just another rumor anymore. It became part of the story that made people question how far fame can really go and what some might allegedly give up to reach the top. And when we say right after, we're not exaggerating. Offset moved fast. Just a few weeks after Takeoff's tragic passing, he wasted no time cutting ties with Quality Control, the very label that once held him back, and jumped straight into releasing his first solo album. The timing had everyone talking. Was it strategy or was it something deeper? Whatever the reason, Offset's next chapter had officially begun, and the energy around him was shifting in a big way. But things behind the scenes weren't smooth at all. Around that same time, rumors started flying that Offset and Quavo were beefing harder than ever. Sure, insiders claimed the two cousins had clashed before, back when Takeoff was still alive. But this time, it felt different. Takeoff was always described as the quiet balance in the group, the one who kept the peace and held everything together like glue. Without him, that calm energy was gone, and the tension between Offset and Quavo started to explode. And then came the drama that turned the heat all the way up. Whispers began spreading that Offset might have been involved with Quavo's then-girlfriend, and fans couldn't stop dissecting every post, lyric, and side-eye moment between the two. But according to word on the street, it wasn't just about a girl. There was supposedly way more behind their falling out. Some insiders hinted that betrayal, business conflicts, and hidden grudges had been building for years, and Takeoff's loss just pushed everything over the edge. What used to be family suddenly turned into full-blown rivalry. Between the emotional tension, the career shifts, and the personal rumors, the whole situation became a whirlwind of pain, fame, and accusations, and the world was watching every move they made. Fast forward to the 2023 Grammys, and things got even messier. Reports claimed that Quavo and Offset, once like brothers, ended up in a heated fight backstage. Allegedly, Quavo refused to let Offset join him on stage during the emotional tribute performance for Takeoff, and that move shocked everyone. Fans watching from home were confused and heartbroken. How could these two not come together to honor the man who had been their family, their teammate, their brother? The big question on everyone's lips was why? Why would Quavo block Offset from performing in a tribute that was supposed to bring healing? Was it just pride, or was something way darker going on behind the scenes? Rumors started flying immediately, some saying it wasn't about the performance at all, but about secrets neither of them wanted exposed. People close to the situation claimed this moment marked the final crack in their relationship, the point of no return, and the stories only got wilder from there. Allegedly, Offset blamed Quavo for Takeoff's death, since Quavo was with him that night at 810 Billiards when everything went down. Offset reportedly felt Quavo didn't protect Takeoff the way he should have, that he froze when things got tense instead of stepping in. But the blame didn't go just one way. Sources also said that Quavo turned around and pointed fingers at Offset, claiming he wasn't there when he should have been, and even suggesting Offset might have known more about that tragic night than he let on. The whispers about betrayal, guilt, and unspoken truths started swirling like a storm, and fans could feel the tension every time either one of them stepped into the spotlight. By that point, what once was brotherhood had shattered completely, replaced by distance, silence, and speculation so thick that nobody knew what was real anymore. While that idea might sound wild, people couldn't help but wonder if Offset had been at the scene that night, could things have turned out differently? Could his presence have changed everything, or was what happened already written in fate? No one can say for sure, but one thing that definitely didn't help Offset's image was what came next. Almost immediately after Takeoff's death, Offset's fame, money, and overall status started climbing fast. He was dropping new music, appearing on big stages, and landing interviews left and right. The timing made fans start connecting dots. Right or wrong, they saw a pattern they couldn't ignore. To them, the sudden rise felt like proof that Takeoff's death had somehow been a sacrifice for success, a move that helped boost Offset and Cardi B even higher in the industry. Online spectators and die-hard fans didn't hold back either. Social media was filled with harsh comments and conspiracy-filled posts that kept the story alive. One person wrote, "Quavo used Takeoff's death as an escalator to move up in the game," while another added, "Offset literally just does what his song with Cardi says. They do anything for clout." The accusations were brutal, and the internet didn't let up. Another fan chimed in saying, "I still think they set him up, because it doesn't make sense how it played out, and no one could find the shooter with all them people there." That statement summed up what many people felt. The whole situation didn't add up. How could something that public, that chaotic, end with so many unanswered questions? Whether it was coincidence or conspiracy, the internet had already made up its mind. And once that narrative took off, it became almost impossible to shake the idea that fame, power, and tragedy were all tangled together that night in ways nobody could fully explain. After all the chaos, eyes quickly turned toward Quavo, the one who had been there that night, the one people felt carried the heaviest weight of it all. Ever since Takeoff's passing, Quavo's been walking around with a cloud over his head, and fans haven't stopped analyzing his every move, every post, every lyric, every silence. People have been searching for clues, trying to figure out what he's really thinking. At first, Quavo stayed quiet, barely saying a word online. That silence spoke volumes to fans who believed he was hiding pain, guilt, or maybe even fear. Some saw him as a broken man, mourning his nephew and bandmate. Others, though, claimed that Quavo's silence was a way of protecting himself, that maybe he knew too much about what really went down that night at 810 Billiards. Then came the music, the songs that fans tore apart line by line. When Quavo dropped Without You, a heartbreaking tribute to Takeoff, it sent chills through the industry. His raw emotions poured out, and people could feel every ounce of sorrow in his voice. But not everyone took it at face value. Some online detectives claimed there were hidden messages in his lyrics, coded confessions disguised as grief. In interviews, Quavo tried to keep things positive, talking about healing and moving forward, but the rumors didn't slow down. Some sources claimed that even while he was speaking about love and legacy, he was still at odds with Offset behind the scenes. Others said he'd been cutting off people close to the situation, not wanting to reopen wounds or face the whispers of what people believed. Through it all, one thing became clear: Quavo wasn't the same anymore. The fun-loving energy, the laughter, the Migos vibe that fans adored, it was gone. What replaced it was a colder, quieter version of him. A man who'd seen too much and said too little, and fans couldn't help but wonder if his silence was just grief, or a secret he couldn't afford to speak out loud. As time went on, the situation didn't fade. It only got louder. The whispers, the theories, the late-night live streams dissecting every second of that night in Houston, they all kept the mystery alive. But what really stirred the pot was how divided the fans became. Some stood by Quavo, insisting he was still grieving and trying to honor Takeoff's legacy the best way he could. Others were convinced that something far darker had gone down, and that everyone was just playing a part in keeping the truth buried. By 2024, the hip-hop community itself started splitting down the middle. Industry insiders were giving subtle hints during interviews, posting cryptic comments online, and fueling the talk even more. A few claimed that Quavo and Offset's feud wasn't just about business or emotion, it was about what really happened that night. Theories started to pop up suggesting that certain powerful figures behind the scenes were making sure the real story never came out. Meanwhile, Cardi B jumped online multiple times to defend her man. She clapped back at people spreading lies, telling fans that the internet got it twisted and that nobody knew what really went on behind closed doors. Still, her fiery defense didn't stop people from analyzing her every post. Every time she mentioned loyalty or success, social media exploded with people claiming it was code or symbolic. Even with all the noise, Quavo stayed mostly quiet. No public feuds, no interviews addressing the claims directly, just music and brief moments of reflection. And somehow, that silence only made the theories grow louder. People started saying that his new song sounded like confessions in disguise, with hidden meanings tucked between every verse. Now, years later, one question still lingers in everyone's mind. Was Takeoff's death just a tragic accident, or was there really something deeper at play? The streets still talk, the fans still debate, and the truth, whatever it is, remains locked behind closed doors, guarded by silence, fame, and fear. Even with all the time that's passed, the storm around Takeoff's death hasn't slowed down one bit. New clips, new evidence, and even old footage keep resurfacing, fueling the fire all over again. Every time someone posts a throwback video of the Migos, fans flood the comments with theories. Some heartbroken, some angry, and others convinced they're uncovering the truth piece by piece. But lately, something interesting has been happening. Quavo's been showing up more, not just in the studio, but out in public, smiling again, performing, even showing glimpses of the old him. Some people think it's a sign that he's finally healing, that he's learning to live with the pain. Others, though, aren't convinced. They say that every time Quavo seems to move forward, another round of rumors conveniently pops up, as if someone doesn't want him to find peace. Offset, on the other hand, has been doubling down on his solo grind. He's been dropping hits, showing up on magazine covers, and living that luxury lifestyle with Cardi B by his side. To some, it's proof that he made it out stronger than ever. To others, it's just more reason to keep questioning what really went down. People online still bring up that phrase, "they do anything for clout." And every time Offset posts something flashy, the comments light up with people quoting it. Meanwhile, Cardi B keeps defending her family like her life depends on it. She's clapped back at interviewers, bloggers, and even random fans, insisting that the truth will come out one day. And when it does, a lot of people are going to look real foolish for believing lies. Still, through all the chaos, one thing remains the same. The shadow of Takeoff's death hangs over everything. The fans who loved him still feel that loss deeply, and every tribute, every lyric, every public appearance from Quavo or Offset brings that memory rushing back. No matter how much time passes, people can't seem to let it go, because deep down, they feel like the story isn't finished yet. And the truth, it's still waiting to be told. And finally, one Takeoff fan snapped back online saying, "So we pretending Cardi and Offset had nothing to do with it?" That single comment reignited the storm all over again. Even now, after all this time, Quavo and Offset still haven't patched things up. The tension between them remains thick, and the silence says more than words ever could. But here's where it gets even wilder. Reports are swirling that Quavo might be planning to reveal everything soon. Rumor has it he's getting ready to drop new music where he'll allegedly address what really went down that night, including claims that Offset and Cardi B were somehow involved in Takeoff's downfall for fame and fortune. Insiders say the truth might be hidden in his lyrics, and it's all set to appear on his upcoming album, the one he's been quietly crafting with Pharrell Williams since October 2025. Fans are already bracing themselves for what could be the most explosive release of Quavo's career. Whether it's all just speculation or something deeper waiting to surface, one thing's for sure. The world is watching, waiting for Quavo to finally break his silence in the way only he can, through music. Will he expose everything, or will the mystery continue to hang in the shadows? Only time will tell. While we wait for the truth to drop, let us know what you think down below. Could this be the moment we finally get answers, or just another twist in hip-hop's most haunting story? Make sure to like, share, and subscribe so you don't miss any updates, because this story is far from over. You're watching The Low Key Line, and trust me, the next video, it's about to get even messier.